What's going on, beautiful people? So, I just wanted to take a moment to share some of the really powerful insights and intuitive upgrades that have been coming from the opening to channel virtual retreat that I've been doing, which has been phenomenal. We have 48 people signed up, and we're about to do day 3 today. And so I was just reflecting, I'm like, okay, what could I share with everyone else in the meantime? Because there's really been a lot of magic coming through. And so one of the things I want to share is an intuitive mastery upgrade with you guys. And this is for whether or not you consider yourself to be an intuitive or you're already doing intuitive work. You're absolutely going to love this piece of magic. All right, it's all about the inner workings of your gifts. So this came from, there was a student who was expressing that he was experiencing, while he was in meditation and I was delivering one of the activations, he was experiencing a trembling and a shaking in his stomach area, and he wanted to know what it is. So instead of giving everyone the answer, what I do is I like to create games. I like to create practical games so everyone could chime in and practice using their gifts. So what I did is I first created the playing field by letting him know that this has to do with his sacral chakra, his orange chakra. And by me mentioning that, it creates a field, it creates an idea, a vibration that could be picked up on and played with, because it gives you somewhere to tune into. Kind of like if, I don't know, if someone is having whatever sort of problem and then you're like, oh, that has to do with the injustice you feel. That cues you into an idea and allows you to use your intuition to perceive into it in different ways. Okay, that's kind of like a rough example. But in this case, I said it has something to do with his orange chakra, and I invited people to tune in and to get information for him as to what was going on, why that shake was happening. Now here's what I want to share with you guys. Often, when you get an intuition, most people just stop at the beginning. So you might get a feeling of like, oh, this has to do with your self-doubt, as an example. And you just have that, and you get that feeling and you stop over there. So what I want to share with you guys as an upgrade is when you get a feeling, when you get a sense of something and you're like, oh, it has something to do with this, bring that energy intentionally into your imagination complex, into your third eye, if you will. But to keep it simple, because I know that people will have a lot of other definitions and subconscious thoughts around the third eye, just bring it into your imagination. And when you bring the intuition you feel into your imagination, you'll get an image, you'll get a picture, it'll turn into a scene. So when we did this in this case, what showed up for the guy, he got a feel, and he's just like, yeah, he's like, I feel like it has something to do with like your defenses or doubt or something like that. I'm like, okay, cool. Now bring that feeling into your imagination. What do you see? And then immediately he was just like, oh, he's like, it's weird. He's like, I see this battlefield and there's two sides battling and they're like at war. I'm like, perfect. Now this is where you get more intricate and you get more richness out of your intuition, because if you didn't already know, your imagination isn't just your imagination as society may have conditioned you to believe. Your imagination is literally the space where your soul, your guides, your angels, and God speak to you through, because it is the space in your consciousness that is the most infinite, so they could speak their infinite language to you. Does that make sense? So don't disregard or discredit your imagination. It is your imagination. As Bashar teaches, it's your magi nation. We are a nation of magicians. So he sees this war in these two sides. And so what I invite him to do is to go ahead. I'm like, okay, now tell me about the two sides. Tell me about the quality of the side of this side, and tell me about the qualities of this side. And he's like, oh. And so he kind of zooms in on the people in his imagination. He's just like, well, this side is definitely his mind, and this side is definitely his spirit. I'm like, perfect. Tell me more about the qualities of his mind side and the qualities of his spirit side. So he zoomed in again. And so he's like, oh, well, this side, it's like they're trying to defend something. There's something that they're trying to defend. And this side is more playful and kind and joyful. They're not even really at war per se. I'm like, great. And so then I asked another question. And I said, what is the mind side trying to defend? What beliefs is it trying to defend? And he's like, oh, tunes in. He's like something to do with um, old knowledge, like things that he believed were true. I can't remember exactly what it is in this moment, but it was something along the lines of like knowledge that was instilled within him from when he was young was basically the idea. Like things that he was like heavily rooted within him. I'm like, that's amazing, perfect. Now, I'm just gonna pause there because I just want you to see how much we just evolved and extracted that one intuition that could have stopped with, oh, I feel like you're defensive about something, or I feel like there's self doubt. How that went to this whole vision of an army of battling on two sides, and how the mind side was defending old beliefs and the spirit side was being playful and this, that, the other. That is a very powerful way to upgrade and use your intuition. Now, of course, we didn't stop there. We eventually led him towards the breakthrough. But what I'm most wanting to convey is that. And wait, there's another part that I was wanting to say. Oh yeah, and then what was interesting is then he revealed that, because since this opening to channel retreat is all about accessing your gifts and your real magic and learning how to use your psychic gifts and channel and all that kind of stuff, what he then revealed, as we're like, first, does that resonate? He's like, yeah, that does resonate. Growing up, I was a Jehovah's Witness, and so I had all kinds of beliefs instilled inside of me that, stuff like this is devil work and that it's not true and this, that, the other, the mind side. But deep inside me, it's like, I kind of knew different. I know that there's something to this that I'm just not seeing, the spirit side. So he's literally speaking to the intuition that was there. And it was 100% accurate. Now from there, it was about, dismantling the belief, which is a whole other teaching, which, can I share that in a simple way? Let me see if I could at least give a stepping stone towards that direction. Well, the stepping stone that I gave in that direction, it's not the complete stretch because that's a whole other teaching, but the stepping stone I gave is that now once you have that intuition and you know what's going on, now the idea is to intend to tune into what message does this person most need to hear now? What can you give them that would most help them, that would help them dislodge these beliefs? And then that's going to lead to more information. All right, so I'm going to stop there because, like I said, it's a whole other teaching, but I just wanted to share that intuitive upgrade with you guys so that you can get more richness and more information out of your intuition. All right, so if you found this video useful and helpful and magical, please go ahead and share it with others so that other intuitives and other people just getting used to their intuition can have these upgrades as well. All right, lots of love, guys.